After an amazing finish last week, we come to the World Center of Speed and the Daytona International Speedway for the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series, round number 4. George Passo up at the booth with you tonight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here. Joined with me by my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the living legend himself, Mr. James Riles. And James, I'm excited about this one. Xfinity cars at Daytona. It doesn't get any better than this.
No, it doesn't. We brought the next gens here. We've played around with them in the trucks. Now it's time to get the absolute greatest, the next gens here, or the Xfinity, I'm sorry, here at Daytona. And guess what, man? The lights are on. So it's going to be under the lights. It's going to be a good time here in the dark.
Absolutely. After Nick Kessler stole the show last week, taking a quick look at the point standings, Brandon Wilson sitting atop the pile right now is the only driver to finish in the top 5 in all 3 previous events. Great season starting off for the 501. Hopefully he can continue that momentum moving forward. Ed DeBoer having 1 win, Jason Papp having 1 win, and Nick Kessler having 1 win. Kessler right now, though, is mired down in 23rd in points, so he's missed a couple of races. But we are about to see what's going to happen here. Is qualifying about to come to an end. Let's take a quick look at that as soon as I can find the button. Bear with me, folks.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony's first time as a producer here, so be sure and give him your applause and admiration as he gets this thing figured out. We do appreciate you guys sticking with us here. As Tony's in training, when was the last time you heard that?
8 years ago. Top left, it's under cameras. The heck you say? Well, nobody's on the track right now as they're getting ready to grid up. So we are about to go to the grid, and for some reason I still can't find the damn button. There we go. So starting up on the points. What? Okay. So starting up on the pole is going to be the 3 of Ryan Decker. He's going to be joined with defending series champion Marcus Adams. Row 2 gives us Justin Summer and James Lowe. Row 3 is going to go to Josh Carver and Ed DeBoer. Scotty Grove and Brian Chu in row number 4. Row 5 is going to go to Jimmy Green and last week's winner, Nick Kessler. Zishan Dura and Adam McKinney rolling off in row number 6. McKinney, the last one to post a time in qualifying, so the rest of the field are going to be lined up via their iRating. That gives us Chris Worrell and Connor Trafari in row number 7. What could possibly go wrong there? Austin Collins and Brendan Jenks in row 8. Row 9 goes to Zach Borman and Joe Gautier. Brandon Wilson and Greg Marconi in row 10. Row 11 goes to Dusty Burkhart and Brandon Lawless. Mark McFadden and Nick Wing in row number 12. Rounding out the field in row number 13 is going to be the ace of Jason Papp and the 95 of John LaBombard. 26 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight. 50% fuel fill, so that's something these guys are really going to have to be mindful of. Fuel strategy going to play some heavy factors into tonight's racing as they're going to go 80 laps tonight. Quick look of our weather. Bear with me, folks. Quick look of our weather is going to give us 69-degree ambient air temperature, so relatively cool conditions for Daytona under the lights here tonight. Track temperature only at 71 degrees. Expect that to be going down. Real dry air, so these cars are going to be making gobs of horsepower as you get a 15% relative humidity. Winds out of the north at 2 miles an hour, so that is going to be a tailwind down the back straightaway. Expect some amazing speeds once they get going. As the field rolling off behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, Again, Ryan Decker in the Oreo number 3, going to be leading them down. As I'm glad to be back here, folks. I'll tell you that right now. I am very happy to be back with the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, at least for tonight. As Decker and Adams going to bring them to green. So Katie bar the door and pass the ammunition, because these guys are about to be live and in living color here at Daytona. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex behind Decker. Decker going to have the button as soon as the pace truck peels on off as they work their way out of turn number 4. The only thing that's really left for me to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I know you're about to say it with me, is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety hunters, make sure that steering wheel's on nice and tight as the pace truck makes that hard left turn onto pit road. Race fans, it's showtime! Green flag comes out. Adams and Decker side by side. Adams getting a lot of help from James Lowe in the 99. Those ROWDY Energy drink cars working it on the top side right now. As here comes Decker with a lot of help from Justin Summer on the low side. They're starting to head. They've got Josh Carver there with them in that West Virginia University number 33, giving a good shove down the back straightaway. The fact that Adams and Lowe are able to hang like they are is nothing short of miraculous. And that's something we've noticed with the latest aero model on these cars, is there is a little bit of a bubble on the backside of the Xfinity car, and you either have to push the bubble or slam draft the car. There is no in between. As Decker going to lead the first time past the stripe, he immediately jumps up to the third lane, wanted to get that all-important bonus point, and then drop out of the front. That's going to give Justin Summer the good shove from the 33 of Josh Carver as they go through 1 and 2. Adams and Lowe still in lockstep on that high lane. They're going to have some company there as the 3 of Decker trying to reel them in, as we got one converting going up to the top side. That's 27 of Scotty Grove. 2 wide, about 5 deep here so far. Ed DeBoer in the Black Rifle Coffee Company, number 24, trying to make some headway on that low side to get up there and try to help Summer and Carver, as right now give the bonus point to Marcus Adams for leading the lap here in that ROWDY Energy number 31 Ford Mustang. A little bit of single file action at the front of this thing is Lowe and Adams still in lockstep. The teammates working well together right now. Lowe just dropping out to get a little bit of cold air to that radiator, as the 94 of Summer having some blinking issues. That's got to be a little bit unnerving for Josh Garber in the 33, as he's right behind that. And as you see him drop back just a little bit, as here comes Brandon Jenks in the 81, up 10 spots already. He and Joe Gautier tied for the biggest mover award, as they're both up 10. Jenks running in 6th. Gautier being scored in 8th. As we've got another lap of the books, Adams getting the lead there. But here comes Scotty Groves on that high side in the 27, trying to make some headway. He's getting a good shove right now from Ryan Decker in the 3. Those two guys working together, a Chevy and a Ford, just going ham on it. Whoa! Marcus Adams gets shuffled out of line coming down the back straightaway. That could have ended very poorly. However, he's able to keep it pointed in the right direction, only losing a couple of spots. Scotty Grove taking over the lead now from James Lowe, as he got the good shove from Decker. Decker now getting a decent shove from Summer as they come across the stripe. Give it to the 27 of Grove.
As I'm stepping back in, this has been an absolutely fantastic race already. 5 laps to go. We got some pushing and shoving up front, folks. If you want to learn how to race at some Superspeedway action, this is the place to be. Daytona, under the lights, and these guys aren't even blinking. I bet the heart rates are under 100 down there.
Absolutely. It's Lowe jumps up to the high line to get in front of Decker, knowing that Decker is one of the best pushers in this league. you're in safe hands if you're with the 3. And Lowe gets the nose out front coming off of turn number 4, coming to the stripe. We're going to be giving the lap to the 99. First lap led for that Balls-Garana Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, Balls-Garana hasn't been having the race they wanted this season.
You're absolutely right, as they have gotten some laps led, haven't had the results to really, signify that. As we got one dropping out, it looks like that's Scotty Grove saying no mas. Ooh, something going on in the back there, as Marcus Adams just went for a wild one down the back straightaway, checking the field up behind him. As they're 3 wide right now. Brandon Lawless on that 3rd lane got shuffled out and was not a happy camper, as it looks like Adams having some big problems back there, as he's dropped from 1st to 19th in 2 laps. Right now, though, Brandon Jenks on the big move, as Jason Papp in the ace, already up 19 spots, doing it by his lonesome on the high line right now. I believe that was the 76. We got one going down to get out of line to say, hey, no mas, you guys are getting a little too chippy up here for my liking. As the 33 of Carver jumps up to that 2nd lane, didn't have anybody really close enough to help him, as Jason Papp doing some good side drafting to maintain on that 2nd lane, as he's running side by side now with the 23 of Jimmy Green.
Yeah, definitely. And these guys, if you talk about, Balls-Garana, Dudes Energy, Dudes definitely has had the momentum coming in here. Look at Jason Papp doing a really fantastic job. Brian Tarnowski, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with him, sitting there in 6th position. Chris Worrell and James Lowe, the Balls guys, they're up there. Brandon Wilson, another one. Really got to watch out. It's not the same season that we had last year where it was just dominated by the Balls Out Racing guys. So a lot of these guys are coming in here, learning how to do this, learning how to control these. Ooh, as we see some swerving going on back there. I think that was Marcus Adams.
Yes, it was. Let's
he's doing that on purpose, breaking up the draft, mayhaps, or
that's what it looked like.
The 6 is doing it as well. Maybe just acting.
I don't know about that. I don't know what Adams is doing, but somebody want to call 911 and report a drunk driver here at Daytona?
That might be.
So we're back live at the front of this field. That is Ryan Decker leading the way, as James Lowe getting a shove from Papp right now, coming off of 4 with a head of momentum. Lowe is going to have the nose out front as they come across the stripe. Papp doing an amazing job, just glued to his rear bumper right now as they haul it off into turn number 1. Looks like both of them are going to get clear before they drop down, and they do, but Papp stays to the high side as Marconi with a head of steam now, as he's got a lot of help from Brandon Wilson, your points leader, working with Marconi on that 2nd lane right now, as they are picking them up and laying them down here. As we've got 10 in the books already.
Yeah, 10 in the books, and you know what? I'm loving it. I'm loving that these guys can come out here and do what they're doing. But you know what's interesting? This is a super speedway series. They say that anybody can win at a super speedway, but we always see the same guys up front. So definitely the skill here, absolutely on display. Love to see it. Love to see these guys get out here and show us that, hey, a lot of people can win these things, but it takes skill to be in here, be in it consistently. That's what we got.
Well, I mean, a lot of times it even boils down in the real world. There's guys that have a knack at this type of racing, and there's guys that don't. And, a perfect example of that would be Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jr. If you interviewed them both about Daytona and Talladega, both of them would say that it was almost like they could see where the draft was. They could see where they needed to put that car to get to the front. And there's guys in the iRacing servers, and you're watching them right now that can do that remarkably. You know, Greg Marconi is one of the winningest drivers in this series. Again, Marcus Adams won the championship last year. Connor Trafari has won the championship in the past. We won 2 seasons ago. You know, Jason Papp always starts at the back, always ends up at the front. As Marconi going to take over the lead right now, as they come out of 3, he's going to abandon his teammate Brandon Wilson on that high lane, leave him into the capable hands of Joe Gautier in that Mountain Dew number 67. As they come to the stripe, Marconi with the nose out front, up 19 spots from where he started.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're gonna have another exciting night that we're not gonna want to step away from, especially with 50% fuels. Did I hear that correctly?
You are correct. 50% fuel fill, no fast repairs, unlimited tires.
Yeah, so these guys are gonna be at it. So while we have just a moment of these guys just beating and banging, let's go ahead and go to a turn it up section, and we will talk back with you guys here after you hear the roar of these Xfinity engines.
And we are back. Hope you enjoyed that. I got to thank Ms. Vicky Tolquist for welcoming me back to the booth for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. Right now, it's hot and heavy at the front of this piece between Nick Wing in the 90 and the 501, or your points leader, Brandon Wilson, as they are side by side right now. Wing with the nose out front, getting the good shove from Ryan Decker. Again, one of the best pushers in the league is that number 3 Oreos Toyota Chevy Camaro. I apologize to everyone that's a Chevy fan for calling it a Chevy Camry. I'm ashamed of myself for doing that. Sorry. But Nick Wing, your biggest mover right now, as he drops down to the low lane with Decker. Wing, currently your biggest mover, at up 23 from where he started right now. Field's starting to get a little single filed out, and you know what that means. That's the tattletale that these guys are getting ready for some green flag pit stops. Everybody trying to get to the low side so they have a clean entry onto pit road as they can possibly get. Wing, Decker, Wilson, Pap, Marconi, Borman, Dura, Lowe, Kessler, and Brandon Jenks rounding out your top 10 right now. See a little too wide action going on towards the mid-pack right now, as that is the 9 of Borman getting a good shove from his teammate Dura. They work their way off of turn number 4. They've got a lot of blinking as we've got some action on pit road. Wholesale pit stop starting to happen. Nick Wing going to lead the charge. Oi! We got one getting it all wrong, as I didn't quite see who that was. But Zach Borman gonna lead the way now, and I'll tell you who that was in a moment as I find out who got popped for an unsafe pit entry. As it looks like everybody that came down pit road is going to get foreign fuel. Looks like that was the 29 of Austin Collins getting it all wrong coming onto pit road the last time. And here comes the second wave as Dura going to lead the pack this time with Borman, Kessler, Lowe, Trafari, Sumner, Grove, Lawless, Adams, Gautier, and McFadden all coming down pit road as they hit their boxes. Wilson, though, leading the battle off pit road, or winning the battle, I should say, off pit road by a second and a half. That's not a good sign for Brandon Wilson, as he took fuel only. Brian Chu took fuel only, as did Greg Marconi. The only problem is Chu and Marconi, Chu made up some spots. Marconi lost some spots, as they now have a head of steam, as the rest of them are off pit road already. We're watching Wilson and company as Dura won the battle off pit road for that second group, and you can see them up in the distance there as they work their way down the back straightaway. Wilson going to have to relinquish the lead of the group that he's in, as Brian Chu now shows the way. Good to see Brian coming over here. We see him on Sundays in the ISNF Cup Series. Good to see him coming over here to throw hands with the Circle B Diecast guys. Brian, one of the best on a super speedway in the ISNF, wanted to test his hands against some of the best in the business. As Dura right now, your leader, getting some good help from the 44 of Nick Kessler. Both those guys running for Kessler Motorsports, as they have a pretty sizable lead right now, and they are in lockstep, teammates working together right now. Behind them is their teammate, Connor Trafari, in the Lot 9 Brewing Company, number 48, as he's getting some help from Zach Borman in the 9. So all 4 of the Kessler Motorsports cars running towards the front of this piece, and they've got the 99 of James Lowe right there with them, as 2 cars on the high side trying to work their way by Lowe. The only problem is Lowe is getting the draft from Dura and Kessler, as Trafari and Borman try to work their way around him. He's not making it easy for these guys.
No, he's not, and you wouldn't expect him to. With these guys just so close coming out, everybody pitting around the same time, they have the advantage. They don't want to let Pap, Jinx, or any of those guys go before that went before them to give them the advantage that they were trying to get. Stay in front of them, make sure you own the restart, and now you know that you can go a couple laps later once everything comes to it.
Well, the biggest thing is you've got the 4 teammates at the front of this thing, and then the one Balls Garana number 99. Cavalry is coming now. Marcus Adams making his way back towards the front pack of this deal, as Lowe is going to have some friendly faces in his rearview mirror, but he's got to deal with those 4 teammates at the front of this piece right now.
Yeah, 100%. And with teammates up front, it depends on what kind of run they're going to get. The Xfinity cars, there's kind of somewhere in between the next gen and the trucks, where the runs that you're going to see coming from the back are not going to be astronomical. You can pull out and throw a block if you absolutely have to. Where you're not going to get run over as you would in the trucks, and then, of course, in the Cup cars, it's hard to even get runs. But just wonder when that 9's going to dive down. There we go. We see him take the bottom with the top line. Jason Papp possibly just leaving him out to dry there a little bit. It's going to be hard to form a top line in this Xfinity.
Well, the biggest thing is Trafari waited till Borman had the clear on Dura before he dropped down. So you got 4 NKM cars at the front of this piece. Brandon Jenks in the 81 is the caboose in that 4-car split at the front. Pap finally able to get to the low side, as he has James Lowe and Marcus Adams there with him. Field pretty single filed out right now, as looks like Wilson has gotten by Marconi, as you know, we're still single file back through this piece. So far, a lot of cars left on the lead lap. Austin Collins in the 29, the only car 1 or more laps down, as he is exactly 1 lap down. About to go another one down, too, as he does not have the night he was hoping for. He got popped for speeding unsafe pit entry, cost Collins the lead lap, as he was held 50 seconds in his box. The only stragglers right now are Chris Worrell in the 6 and John LeBombard in the 95, as they're about a half a lap behind this lead freight train. As we've got a 14-car breakaway here, and then you're almost 7 seconds back to the 69 of Dusty Burkhart from this man. That is the 18 of Brian Chu. That is Collins, the lap car, at the tail end of this thing. And then we've got Dusty Burkhart leading the charge back here with Decker, Wing, McFadden, DeBoer, McKinney, Carver, Green, and Gautier. And I'm sure if they stay single filed out, they've got a chance at reeling in that front pack. But right now, Connor Trafari shows the way in the 9 over teammates Zach Borman, Zishan Dura, and Nick Kessler. Now, Trafari is a past champion in this series. Didn't quite have the playoff rounds that he was hoping for last season, hoping to make up for that this season, is he's got that Lot 9 Brewing number 48 out front again. Again, everyone pretty single filed out right now, as this front pack playing nicely in the middle of the race. Everybody came down right around lap 2021, so we're expecting a next round of green flag pit stop to happen probably 10 to 12 laps from now. And let's see just how much these cars are moving around, as we are going to go on board with Borman. As you can see, he's in lockstep with his teammate right now. And just ducking out ever so slightly to get some clean air to the radiator. And you can see just how rock steady his hands are on that steering wheel as he tries to line up perfectly with Trafari in front of him.
Yeah, by the way, I'm back. It's it's definitely an art. You can't hit to the right or the left, where that's where you're going to see these cars kind of get out of sync. So even if they're just lined up for that one moment that it takes to bump, that's really all it needs. But it gets a little hairy here in the Xfinity cars. With that spoiler, there's really nothing keeping you from going left to right as you see in any of the other cars. So you're kind of at the whims of whatever wind, and we talked about that 2 mile per hour wind, the rear wind. That doesn't help you out. That hurts you because it adds another dynamic to the car that you're not in control of.
Absolutely. As we see Borman playing duck and peek behind Trafari's rear bumper, solely because he's trying to get some clean air to that radiator. Because the thing you've got to really keep an eye on here, folks, is the fact that if you look to the left of the screen, you see the 2 gauges over there marked oil temp and water temp. If those go above 220, you're going to be in trouble very quickly. The fact that he's able to keep those right around 200, that's just about perfect. As a matter of fact, you can't get it much more perfect than where he's got it right now. And he's getting just the right amount of air to that radiator to make sure that he can stay in lockstep with his teammate in front of him.
Yeah, that's just what it's going to have to take. It's going to have to take being careful, being right there, because you also can't control what's behind you. If somebody bumps you wrong when you're not lined up, like we just saw there, that puts you bumping when you don't want to bump, and vice versa, and it's just this whole train of mess that we like to call the infield care center.
Pretty much so, but right now, the rest of the field, they're basically using Connor Trafari as what we colloquially refer to as a fuel pig. Trafari's Mustang is punching the hole in the air for everybody behind him to go through at 75%, maybe 60% throttle. So they're saving fuel while he's got his foot through the floorboard. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, he's got to. This is not one of the trail-breaking cars where you have to kind of brake and get the guy up to you. This is all out. You use that bubble as best you can and get moving, especially with everybody lined up like this. He's going to be out there. Luckily, he last pitted lap 21, so he may have to come in a little bit earlier with these guys that pitted lap 19, per se. Maybe some of the 20 guys, but I think he'll be okay. We'll just have to see how it plays out and see whereabouts he's going to try and come in, because if he comes in off cycle from all his other guys, that's definitely not going to be helpful for him.
Absolutely, as these guys are just, it's an art form. And James, you and I have talked about this before in the past. To see these guys do what they do week in and week out at Daytona and Talladega, changing cars every week, and still putting on this display of driving prowess on a super speedway. This is the blueprint that all super speedway leagues should be based off of.
Yeah, and they get the benefit, right? We just saw it. I can't tell you how many Daytona races I've called literally this week as everybody starts their season here. And this is it, man. This is what it should be. We're not having cautions every 5 laps. These guys are not out pushing it 3 wide. What's most amazing about this, there's not 2 different packs that are 10 seconds, 5 seconds away from each other. Dusty Burkhart, the link in this chain in number 69, is doing a really nice job of getting. He can get up to Brian Chu whenever he wants to, and that's first through 23rd, pretty much is in the same group, the same snake of drivers. The only ones out are Lombard and Worrell, which we saw had those issues earlier. So everyone else keeping it together, keeping it rolling as they're going to start making moves. These guys that hit it on lap 20 trying to get around the 21s on the top. Deshaun Dora is going to be leading that charge, getting down in front of the 41 of Nick Kessler. Love to see him moving here. We got a new leader, folks.
Absolutely, and they hung out Brendan Jenks to dry on that high lane as Kessler and Dura in lockstep right now. Again, 4 teammates at the front of this thing. Dura, Kessler, Trafari, and Borman all running for the same group. Leading the way as they're starting to get a little bit of separation now as Burkhart, who you said was the link in the chain, guess what? He's now leading the charge with Brian Q locked to his rear bumper in that second lane, trying to make something happen. Like these guys had enough play and follow the leader from what it looks like. And, they're trying to get some headway going as Dura and Kessler with about a car length and a half gap back to the 48 of Connor Trafari. So they were using Trafari as a fuel pig. Now it's Dura's turn to be said fuel pig.
If he has time, the 69 is coming up on the right, absolutely with a full head of steam. He was about a second and a half off this pack about 2 laps ago, literally when I was talking about it. So use that to his advantage, decided to pop out at just the right time, hitting every green flag or green light along the way. Absolutely. I love getting out here and making this.
Absolutely. You got Burkhart, Chu, and Mark McFadden driving the hashtag Racing for Stacy Ford Mustang tonight as bringing breast cancer awareness to the masses. And, of course, our good friend Brian Tarnowski, if you're not sure what hashtag Racing for Stacy is, our thoughts and prayers go out to Brian and Stacy right now as Stacy is in her, I believe, second battle with breast cancer. And, she's putting up as best a fight she can. So thoughts and prayers going out to Brian as he's taking time to spend with his wife as we race here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's something wrong with work today, but this is why we do it, guys. And I'm sure Brian will be back in here as soon as he can, racing just to get out here and just have a good time with each other. Can't get a better group of guys than these here at the Circle B Diecast family, as well as he's in a couple of our other leagues. So definitely lots of prayers on.
Absolutely. As the field gets single filed out again, as Burkhart and McFadden have both dropped down, as has Chu, to get to that low lane. Because guess what? It's that time again, folks. The tattletale is showing as everybody's getting to that low side in preparation for green flag pit stops.
Yeah, it's you can tell the buzz. They're gonna have to make it a 2-stopper from here on out. So you thinking lap 41 through lap 43 to give you some time for an overtime if we have it. They're gonna start stretching this out. Those guys that came in on lap 19 just about have to come in. Everybody else may have a lap or two to come with their team and do what they've got to, but we'll see here as they're probably about to start fanning out.
As we did have some takers that last time by Burkhart, Carver, DeBoer, McKinney, and Green all came pit side. Here comes the next wave as you've got Dura, Kessler, Trafari, Borman, Pap, Gautier, McFadden in this time, Decker, and Wing. And that is going to hand the lead of the race over to your points leader, Brandon Wilson, as he is on the top side right now with his teammate Greg Marconi pushing the daylights out of him. Coming off at 2, that's Brian Chu on the low side with James Lowe and Marcus Adams in trail as the tandem of Wilson and Marconi able to drop down in front as we are again single filed out.
Yeah, they got to do their best here to capitalize on staying out and hope that there's a little bit of a hiccup for those guys that came in, because here we see it. They're going to come down. Hopefully everybody has a clean entry. Couple stragglers there. I'm surprised they didn't decide to duck down. Maybe 2 last minute of a call for James Lowe, Marcus Adams, and Brandon Lawley's.
Well, the thing is, I mean, they've been in the draft all fuel stint long. They can go another lap or two.
Yeah,
you know, and
what does it benefit?
It benefits them a lot. You know, the fact that they're still at speed, if they can stay together, you know, the fact that they're still at speed, they're still in draft with each other. You know, we've seen them go 2 to 3 laps longer than everybody in the past. As it looks like they might be coming down this time, as yes, they are. Full head of steam onto pit road, getting them locked down. Oy, hang on to her, son.
27.
That's Scotty Groves getting it all wrong as he spins it on pit road. So that's going to cost him some time. Marconi, though, leading the battle off pit road of those who have already pitted. They're down the middle of the back straightaway right now with Trafari and Borman on the high side. Wow, what a run.
Yeah, they came in the lap before us. They've had a couple laps to kind of organize, but if they can keep that gap up, oh my gosh, that was absolutely amazing. Pass them like they were standing still.
Very much so. It's 190 miles an hour. They're hauling it off into turn number 3. As we go on board with Borman, you could just barely see, and you can see it right there. There's the stragglers coming off of pit road. That's Justin Sumner right in front of them. And they're going to pass him like he's in reverse. And there goes Brandon Lawley's. And there goes the tandem of... Actually, no, that's Adams they just passed. As Lowe with a great jump. Again, fuel only stopped for most of these guys as Borman working his way around the 99. Give the lap to Lowe, but Borman with a head of steam with Trafari. They're going to drop down and play Indy Snake as they're going to leave Jishan Dura on the high side with Greg Marconi. Now, NASCAR has... yeah, it does. I'm sorry, my brain just shut off. NASCAR has Kevin Harvick, the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series. That's Greg Marconi, if you know what I'm saying. You know, Marconi is always one of those guys that he knows how to close a race out. As right now, Brandon Wilson getting a good shove from Jason Papp on that second lane, nose out front, and bonus point to your current points leader coming into tonight, Brandon Wilson, as he leads a lap here. Again, with Papp in tow on that second lane, it looks like Wilson waiting till Papp can get clear of Dura before they're going to try to drop down. Papp, unfortunately, not clear of Dura, as here comes the 69, the Dusty Burkhart, trying to help that situation, as now they got a 3-car tango at the top of the field with another one coming. On board with Wilson as they come out of turn number 4. You can see Dura right there on the inside. Back on board we go. As Dura getting a great shove from the 12 of Marconi. Current biggest mover is that second place car in the second lane. That is Jason Papp in the ace. As he's got Dusty Burkhart behind him. And I believe that is, yes it is, that is a 6 of Chris Worrell, 4th car in line there. So lap car trying to help out at the front of this piece. Wilson still with the nose out front. As this is some of the raciest racing we have seen so far. Papp drops down in front of Dura. Dura gives him a shot coming across the line. Wilson finally drops down. Burkhart tries to go with him. Only problem is Jason Papp was there, heads up driving from the Tennessee Volunteer number 69 of Burkhart. As these guys are trying to get this figured out, a couple of guys bailing out going, yeah, it's getting just a little too chippy for me up here. Burkhart now with a head of steam as he's got Chris Worrell over his back bumper right now. Worrell's Toyota trying to get to the front. And he's got to help Burkhart to do it, trying to get his lap back the hard way. The only good news is he's going to have some help. Should Burkhart get clear, he's going to have the 95 of Gautier right there with him. Now that is, Le Bombard. It's Worrell and Le Bombard leading that second lane as both those guys trying to get their laps back the hard way right now. And they've got Mark McFadden up there to try to help them. But right now, Dusty Burkhart, your new leader, up 20 from where you started.
As I see, things have kind of gotten together. No advantage other than Scotty Grove having his issue. No real changes up front. Dusty Burkhart, the 69, able to really take advantage of that track position he got coming up through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. As Worrell drops down in front of the 501 of Wilson. So you know Worrell is going to try to get his lap back the hard way if he gets the opportunity. And right now the opportunity is with Dusty Burkhart as he's giving him a good shove down the super stretch here at Daytona.
Yeah, you really got to put yourself in a position to have it. And I know Worrell's not having the race he wanted, but if there's a caution, he can take control of it, but he doesn't want to be battling Jean Bombard. So that's a huge battle happening right now between the 95 and the 6, essentially for who's going to be the lucky dog and who's could get their lap back the hard way, like you said. And right now it's Le Bombard.
Well, you got the teammates up there, the 95 of Le Bombard working with Mark McFadden. So if Le Bombard can pull McFadden in front of Burkhart, that's going to benefit both him and his teammate as they work their way down the super stretch. 30 laps to go right now, working lap 51 of 80. Burkhart and McFadden trying to make something happen as McFadden makes a third lane. Le Bombard goes to the high side. This is not going to end anything but poorly.
Well, you would say that usually, but with these guys, they quickly back out of it, back to 2-wide racing, and I mean, we've seen them go 3-wide before. What do you know? Let the heart rate settle down, and I'm going to help you out in that. Let's go ahead and run another Turn It Up.
Absolutely. And we are back with the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series, round number 4 from Daytona. As we got a couple of lap cars at the front of this piece. That's Austin Collins and Chris Worrell both getting their laps back the hard way. The 99 of James Lowe in lockstep with them is Mark McFadden trying to work the high side with the 67 of Joe Gauthier. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, and watching these guys, I mean, you kind of saw when we went to the turn up, you heard how fast these guys are moving in these machines, and that's why they're kind of going a little squirrely. But just to talk about Mark McFadden, I've not really seen him in here very much, but up front in the 5 machine, he is our biggest mover of the race. 27 positions so far. Right? Pretty much everybody up front started outside of the top 10, minus Brian Chu in the 18 and Zishan Dura in the 6. Everybody started outside the top 10. And of course, your leader, James Lowe, started. So, just to tell you what momentum can do. Do you think they're going to stay on pace, come in at 60, or are we going to see some stragglers at 66, 67 trying to make the most out of being out on their own?
I think we're probably going to see some guys stay out a little bit longer if they can. As, again, you mentioned James Lowe taking over the lead. 99, third car in line there. That's got one into the wall.
A little spark. Nobody hurt.
Nothing going to hurt McFadden on that high line. But Lowe currently showing the way. As, again, he started in 3rd, currently leading the race with the 2 lap cars in front of him, folks. As 2nd place right now, Dusty Burkhart, the Tennessee Volunteers, number 69. And then we have the 18 of Brian Chu out of Fort Myers, Florida. And then that brings us to the number 10 of Zishan Dura, as his Ford Mustang swings out to the high line. It looks like his teammate Zach Borman in the 9 is going to go with him.
Hey, I got something to say in the chat. I'll talk about these things. Mark McFadden doing a really good job there. But Tony, have you ever seen every single car in the session in the same pack?
And that was 2 seasons ago.
Well, don't look now.
Here we go. Pit stops.
By the wholesale.
Going down there. Burkhart, Chu, Decker, Wing, Carver, McKinney, DeBoer, Green, and Worrell all peeling off, as did Austin Collins in the 28. That's going to leave Zishan Dura and James Lowe at the front of this piece. Zach Borman right there as well, in lockstep with these guys. Mark McFadden currently sitting in 4th position with his teammate Joe Gauthier right behind him. We got one of them swinging out. That looks like it might be Kessler. And it is. That is the 44 Kessler, last week's winner, swinging out, as we've got some more takers going down pit road. Gauthier and LeBombard, the teammates all trying to work together right now. That hands the lead of the race over to Dura. As right now, James Lowe is not in friendly waters. Dura, Kessler, Trafari, and Borman all teammates. And Lowe is the lone stranger in that group right now, as Kessler and Trafari working it on the high side. And we've got some peeling off here to go pit road. Looks like all those teammates are going pit side. That's going to hand the lead of the race over to the 99 of Lowe, as he has 2 of the dudes racing cars right behind him in the form of Brandon Wilson, your current points leader, Greg Marconi in the 12. Then we got Brandon Jenks in the 81, the independent, And then you've got Lowe's teammate Marcus Adams, defending series champion, rounding out your top 6 with Justin Sumner right there in 7th. Is Jura going to win the battle off pit road out of the group that he went down with? It's going to be interesting to see how this one does shake out. And Lowe stays out. Lowe, Adams, Lawless, and Sumner all staying out. The 95 of John LeBombard, the only one to take 4 under this pit stop. And I take that back. Nick Kessler also took 4. Kessler right now, though, on an island all by himself, as the battle is up at front between those 2 Balls Garana teammates. And that is Marcus Adams there, showing the way with Brandon Lawless in tow. Start to see them come pit road. Well, looks like next time by. They're going to stretch this thing about as far as they can. We're under caution. Oh my goodness. Looks like Zishan Jura. Oh no. And somebody just hand grenaded an engine. So we're going to go take a look at the replay of that one. And that's Jura getting it all wrong on cold tires. Comes down. McFadden nowhere to go. Gautier nowhere to go. And they both take a race car to the face.
Man, I leave for 5 seconds. Come back to who was the leader, number 10. He said it was cold tires. Gets you every time.
Yep, he was trying to hustle it through turn 2. Got it all wrong. The back end stepped out on him. Bangs the outside wall, comes down the banking. McFadden and Gautier absolutely nowhere to go. So that's going to give a free pit stop to Marcus Adams, Brandon Lawless, Justin Sumner, and James Lowe.
Yeah, and that really, really hurts Chris Worrell because he was the lucky dog, but because I guess that happened, he's not going to turn out that way.
Oh, he got it. He's more than 1 lap down.
Oh, there you go.
No, actually, he's being scored right now as 1 lap down.
Yeah, I believe he hadn't got. Well, I don't know. We'll let the experts decide that.
He was with that first group that pit, so he went back a lap down, and unfortunately, it did give him the lucky dog, as he's one of the few that is at speed right now, as the field catches the Chevy Silverado pace truck. And I dare say, yep, there go McKinney, DeBoer, Green, and Decker.
And this is really going to help those guys that pitted at lap 60 more than anybody, because the way the trends of the race have been going, the first ones to come down pit road usually were at the back of the pack when everything cycled through. It just took slightly longer once they lost that momentum for them to keep up. So now we're looking at 3 of the top 5 pitted at lap 60, so it kind of helped them out a little bit. And it's going to help them out on fuel just in case there is a green-white checkered. They know they're going to be able to make it now under caution with what's happened. But everybody else now got put on the same cycle, same everything. We'll see if it works out for those guys up front.
Well, the advantage is for Adam, Sumner, Lawless, and Lowe, and Jenkins. They're able to take 4 in fuel without much of a penalty, whereas everybody else that came down just took fuel.
Oh, big facts. Yeah, so all that squirreliness we saw. Oh, John Lombard, what happened to him?
he was one of the ones that was caught up in that. He and McFadden both took a race car to the face. And I believe that was LeBombard that we heard his engine go poof. So right now, Marconi and Wilson going to be showing the way in this one. The rookie Josh Carver, and it's weird to say this, but the rookie Brian Chu, both going to be restarting in second row. Now, those of you who watch the ISNF Cup Series broadcasts on Sunday night here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, you'll recognize Brian Chu's name, as he's won at Daytona and Talladega for the past couple of seasons. He's basically owned that series at the Superspeedway plate tracks.
Yeah, one of those who is doing it. Absolutely fantastic job up here. I know if we look at the points and the standings, McConey has been one of those with a couple of good wins. Currently sitting in ninth. It's one of those who's a lot of top 10 so far. And just got to get it rolling for this season. Everybody else, it's just been kind of a weird season. Everybody back and forth. Nobody has really shown out as a winner, except Jason Papp winning our opening race, and then Nick Kessler, who just came out of nowhere with a win. I think it was his first race with these guys. Yeah, one start, one win. Knocked it out
this
at 100%.
Season.
Yeah. So hey, if you can do it. As he's now sitting there in sixth. So a couple guys on the outside looking in: Brandon Wilson, James Lowe, Chris Worrell. A lot of names we know there. Just trying to get that win locked in.
Well, the biggest thing is it's a win you're in situation to get into the playoffs for these guys, as long as you meet a certain minimum number of starts. So with Kessler having that win under his belt, he doesn't have to show up every week. He just has to show up that minimum number to be eligible for the playoffs. As the green flag comes back out, Marconi getting a good shove right now from the rookie Josh Carver in the 33.
Yeah, that's exactly the restart you want to have. Perfect restart for the bottom line there, to be really close. You don't want to treat it like a short track. You want to stay as close as possible to your pusher. That way the whole field doesn't come slinking back.
And something happened to Marcus Adams as he just spent a minute and a half on pit road.
Yeah,
that was him that they flashed by coming through 1 and 2, as it's the two teammates on the high side, Marconi and Wilson at the front of this piece. Marconi leading the low side, Wilson leading the high side, as they're getting a good run coming off of 4 into the tri-oval. Give the lap to Marconi. And you know that Josh Carver, you know, being a newcomer to the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series, he would love nothing more than to stamp on this season early on and win his way into a playoff berth. As right now, he's getting a good shove from your points leader, Wilson. Wilson glued to his back bumper as they haul it down the super stretch and into turn number 3.
Yeah, definitely get the stamp, but do it right. Especially at a super speedway series, you want to make friends more than enemies. You know, you can kind of deal with it at Martinsville, a bowling cup series where you get them back at the short track. But here, getting them back means taking the car out. So we want to make sure that you make friends here in your first race, and that's what he's doing. Clean pass to the lead. But guys, you've seen Dr. Jekyll all race. These guys have been very courteous, lined up. Nobody's really pushing it 3 wide. We got 10 to go. Mr. Hyde's coming out.
Absolutely. Is Carver your leader right now from Princetown, West Virginia, showing the way as he's got Marconi going to his high side. Marconi and Wilson, the two teammates, locked up right now as Godgate comes back out of the pit with a very, very wounded race car.
Gotta get some laps in there and make it happen. We saw him on the track, so he was diving down to let these guys through. Ooh, number 69, Dusty Burkhart having some issues with connectivity. That's going to be a big troublemaker there. As, of course, we'd like to thank iRacing.com for letting us all put this together. Circle B Diecast Superspeedway series. So you heard it right there in the name, Circle B Diecast. As well as ROWDY Energy. I appreciate those guys for coming on board. And then iRacing, iFlag.
And our good friends over at Buttkicker.
And Buttkicker. And, of course, Midwest Motor Customs. As we're 3 wide there, 13, 18, and the 94. Looks like Justin Summer up top. Oh, they're wrecking. They're going to be wrecking here. Check up in the field, 3 wide, 2 deep. Everybody saves it. Wow.
And normally you can't go 3 wide here at Daytona as easily as you can at Talladega. And I think those guys just found that out the hard way. And if you requires to be cleaned like most of those drivers are going to after this race, you need to go over to Mark's Cleaners in Daytona Beach, just right up the road from the Speedway.
Yeah, these guys definitely code brown there. But if you look at what happens at these super speedways, especially Daytona, all of your wrecks, if you're going to see them, they're going to happen in coming out of turn 4 or coming out of the tri-oval. That tri-oval is the smallest distance on the track, it seems like, for these drivers, as that slight left really throws a wrench in your plans because it's not as much banking as the turns.
Well, it's also the narrowest section of the track, whereas at Talladega, it's the widest section of the track. And they're 3 wide again, 13 onto the apron, and we've got a wreck.
Adam McKinney came up, tried to save it, drifted down in front of everybody there.
Watch it here as he just gets the little elbow from the 44 and ouch.
Hey, props to him, Adam McKinney, getting out of the gas, kind of floating it up to the top there. No other drivers involved in that other than maybe a couple hurt feelings and bumpers.
Lawless did get into him.
Yeah, but it could have been a lot worse. That was a battle for 5th that ended up with somebody in the wall. Kudos to all those drivers who were able to get through that.
Absolutely. We're not seeing much damage either on the 38. So chalk it up, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, especially with 4 laps to go. You don't need much of a car to cross the line at Daytona this close to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. As the field catches the pace truck.
Looks like Greg thinks he might not have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Oh, boy.
I'm sure he does.
Well, he's hit it on lap 63.
Yeah, I was about to say, surely he does.
And we've had 2 cautions.
He's turning that motor off. He's working that ignition switch.
Well, he wants to make sure he can get to the checkers if we do go into overtime. As you see, he and Wilson both dropping down onto the apron as a way to conserve some fuel, taking the absolute shortest way around. I wouldn't expect to see anybody except those that were involved in the accident to come pit side this time. It's kind of a situation of you've made your bed, now it's time to lay in it. So Marconi, Carver, Wilson, Burkhart, Kessler, Chu, DeBoer, Green, Papp, and Zach Borman rounding out your top 10, as we do have a couple of takers going down pit road. And, of course, Brandon Lawless is going to be one of them as he caught a piece of that wreck. Justin Sumner, James Lowe, Adam McKinney, all taking them pit side.
And while they do that, we're going to go ahead and take ourselves to the concession stand. We'll be right back, folks.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
And we are back with what should be a natural green-white checker finish here at Daytona for round 4 of the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series. Greg Marconi going to have the button as he was wondering when we went to break there, just as soon as the caution flew, he made the announcement that he's not sure if he can make it, which I'm thinking he's playing possum right now, as Josh Carver, the rookie, going to be starting on the outside lane with Dusty Burkhart. Marconi and Wilson going to start on the inside lane, and they've got the 44 of Nick Kessler with them. Can Kessler do the unthinkable and go back-to-back as he won last week? Can he win again this week? We are about to find out with a restart on lap 78 as the field works its way into the 3-4 complex. You can see the lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck.
As we're going to get started, hopefully one more time. If not, we'll go to overtime. But hey, we're prepared to do that. As Greg Marconi going to lead him around. He's been saving fuel. Let's see if he needs it. Josh Carver on his outside. Greg hoping to get the push by Brandon Wilson. And Dusty Burkhart on the outside. Those are who we really want to watch. Carver and Burkhart here as the green flag is out. They're going to get them through the gears in that Allison transmission. Let's get going.
Absolutely. The teammates, Wilson and Marconi, in lockstep right now. Kessler glued right there with them. As hats off to Josh Carver doing what he can to try to side draft off that lead group. Looks like Jason Papp jumping up to that second lane. Carver drops in behind Kessler. That's going to leave Burkhart and Papp on the high side to try to make it happen. Down the super stretch they come. 3 laps to go, and Wilson just shoving the daylight out of that body armor Ford Mustang of his teammate Greg Marconi.
Yeah, and everybody was seeing that. That's why they kind of dipped down to that bottom line with him. 3 laps to go. You still got about, 7.5 miles left in this thing that these guys are looking to go. So there's time, but we're going to see Josh Carver, who's been putting on a show. He's going to go to the top line. He's got some help up there. We've got Nick Kessler in the 44.
Nope. That 33. Is the 24 of Ed DeBoer.
Yeah, I'll get it
right that Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Oh, we're wrecking behind him. Caution's coming out. No, they're going to stay green for now. Caution's out. There we go. Heading to overtime. Jason Papp involved. Dusty Burkhart, Scotty Grove. To name a few, I think that got just about everybody.
You're not wrong. And why is the wreck not showing up? Well, let's start here. And it was before that. What? There it is. As they come down the back straightaway. Ooh. That was 2 wrecks in 1 right there. So let's back that up again. There it is. And they just got it all wrong. They went 3 wide down the back straightaway, and it ended about 8 different kinds of poorly for about 10 guys. Worrell involved, DeBoer involved, Jimmy Green involved, Scotty Groves involved, Marcus Adams catching a huge piece, Mark McFadden catching a huge piece. And that's going to put us into overtime.
That is going to put us in overtime. That is correct. So what we're going to have here is, guys, we're going to do a couple pace laps. We're not going to count those, but we're going to have what's called in NASCAR a green-white checkered finish. That means that flag man, once he throws that green flag, he's going to put that down, get the white flag in his left hand, transition. Once the car's going back around, he's going to throw that white flag. But if he gets interrupted and he throws that yellow flag before he throws the one to go, we're going to do it one more time, I believe, in this league, Tony?
Three
more
the,
times.
The way it works is the leader has to cross the stripe to take the white flag.
Yep. Once the
if
leader...
the leader doesn't make it to the start finish line to take the white flag before all hell breaks loose, we're going back under caution. We're going to have 3 attempts at this. Hopefully they get it done in the first attempt. But should we have what we just had happen again, we're going to go back under caution. We're going to rack them, stack them, and fire it again.
If that happens before the leader takes that white. Now, once he takes that white, all bets are off. The next flag that Barry the flag man decides to throw is going to end the race. Generally, what will happen, though, is iRacing NASCAR officials like to let everything play out. But I have seen it where they will throw the yellow if it's something up front that puts a lot of these drivers in danger of finishing. Or not finishing, so something to keep an eye on there.
Well, we saw something like that play out at the season finale last season. You and I were in the booth for that one when it looked like it was going to be a battle between 2 teammates, Marconi and one of his teammates at that time that is no longer with the league, it looks like. They crashed as soon as they crossed the stripe. Guess what? We're racing back to the checkers. And that's how Marcus Adams won the season 2021, fall 2021 championship.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it takes. Hey, if iRacing is generally going to let these guys race it out. I mean, I very, very rarely will it throw the caution after the white. I have seen it throw the caution before the white when they only have one attempt, and that kind of fusses things up. But all they got to do is get there. As we are side by side coming down the backstretch, do want to appreciate all you guys watching live over on YouTube. You can hit that like button. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. Positive comments only, because I am a fragile man. Tony can take the hard stuff, though. Tell him how much you don't like.
Yeah, he's a snowflake. You can talk trash about me all you want. But while you're there, if you are watching right now and you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of broadcast quality entertainment here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. As we've got a whole slew of races lined up for the rest of the week. We do this 7 nights a week, up to 4 times a day we broadcast. As the green flag comes out, Marconi gets a good jump. Kessler right there with him. Brandon Wilson getting a good shove from Carver right now on the top lane. That's going to box Kessler in. So now Kessler doesn't have to win, but it would be amazing if he could go back-to-back. As we are on the green portion of a green-white checker right now, down the back straightaway, they come with a full head of steam. The teammates in lockstep. Drag race into turn number 3. Wilson on the high side, Marconi on the low side. You know, Wilson, your points leader, would love nothing more than to get a victory here tonight and cement his position in the playoffs as they come off of turn number 4. Can they make it the next 200 yards and not crash? Yes, they can. We're racing to the checkers.
That's what we see. Greg McConey going to make his way, and McConey needs a win. He needs a win this year. But is Josh Carver good enough to make it happen?
Well, Carver's pushing Wilson. Kessler's the one pushing McConey right now. And we know Kessler's not afraid to blow an engine up, trying to push somebody to a win, as he's done it numerous times in the past. But right now, Wilson with a car length out front of his teammate. Marconi battles back on the low side. Kessler shoving the daylights out of Marconi.
Oh, Marconi sideways.
And Marconi's around.
He's going to try and bring it back on track to salvage some position. That backfired huge for him. Who is it? It's the
Carver
number
wins the race.
33, Josh Carver. Still wrecking.
Wow. What a finish. And we are going to go back and watch that, folks. This is when Kessler crashed. And then we're going to go up and watch what happened with Wilson. Wilson got a shove from Carver going across the stripe, and that stacked everybody up behind him. Let's back that one up a little bit there. So we're going to go back and watch it from Marconi's point of view. That's Marconi getting shuffled out of line, comes back up. They're wrecking behind him. He comes back up, and oi.
Then we're going to
Puts
watch
the
that.
90 into the wall.
And while that simultaneously, check out Josh Carver's point of view there. Or not his point of view, but go to Josh Carver before we
are going to go actually to the we're going to go to the GoPro that we've got on Carver's helmet here. Come on. Why are you doing this to me? So here's Carver coming to the line. That's Wilson's already been yeeted. Okay, so here we are. There goes Marconi. There goes Wilson. And Carver crosses the line with the victory here tonight. What a finish. What? Let's back this up. Here comes Carver to the line. And it was Trifari that actually turned Wilson. So Carver, Wilson, and James Lowe rebounds for a podium finish here tonight. Connor Trifari being scored in 4th. Justin Sumner in 5th. Nick Wing, Dusty Burkhart, Greg Marconi, Adam McKinney, and Chris Worrell, after being a lap down most of the race, battles back for a top 10 finish here tonight. We are live. Okay. So we are just waiting for the crew to join us here in the broadcast booth. Let me see if I can find some of these guys here. Let's see, we got, we'll bring him down. We will bring him there. And the only other one we got to look for is Mr. Wilson. No. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to the man that just made a statement in the iRacing E Series, Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series. Josh Carver, congratulations on getting your first victory with the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So you're one of the newer names here. what made you pick Circle B Diecast for your Friday night league?
Well, we had got into a couple rooms and was running with some guys, and they had mentioned what was going on over here, and it's like, man, it's a really good group of guys. He was like, and I'd raced a lot with Greg before, so I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's give it a shot. And my buddy Ed come over here, and he actually knew a couple of these guys, so we was like, hey, we want to go ahead and bring the whole Rev team over here if you don't mind. So it's this Circle B Diecast series is pretty cool. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Now, how does it feel that in only your fourth start with the league, you've automatically punched your ticket into the playoffs?
Man, that's a good feeling. It's a real good feeling with Ed winning before the break, and then me winning this one. That puts Rev. That's two of us in the chase now. So I like having those numbers. Yeah, it takes a lot of relief off, and now I can maybe go out there and drive a little more aggressive than what I would any other time.
Absolutely. Well, you took that West Virginia University number 33 Ford Mustang. You kept it clean all night. How difficult was that at times with some of the moves that were going on around you?
I had two moments that made my butt cheeks clench. I was really scared. I ain't gonna lie. I barely squeezed through there with no damage. I don't know how I made it through there, but me and the teammates talked, halfway through the race. We seen how it was playing out with the side-by-side. We all agreed just to kind of drop back and ride a little bit and try to make the charge at the end. And unfortunately, they weren't able to make it back up this far. I was able to keep good track position. Adam McKinney brought it home 9th and Jimmy 10th, so we still had 3 of us in the top 10. Ed got took out there, which was a bummer, but all in all, it was a good night for Rev. We had fun doing that.
Well, Josh, we go to the sister track next week in Talladega. Your thoughts going into that one?
I'm excited about that one. Talladega is my favorite track. It's a lot wider. You'll probably see a lot more 3-wide racing. These guys really know how to hold a line. I really respect most of the drivers in this league, so next week ought to be an exciting show.
All right. Before we let you go and celebrate your first victory here with the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series, Josh, who do you need to thank?
I'd like to thank Circle B Diecast, ROWDY Energy, iRacing Flag, Buttkicker, and of course the Midwest Motor Customs. Couldn't be doing this without them. We appreciate all their support and what they do. It's pretty awesome. Appreciate what you guys do. Got to thank my Red teammates, though. Of course, none of this be possible without them. We win together, we lose together.
All right. Josh Carver, congratulations on your first victory. Best of luck to you next week at Dega.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
So that was our winner, Josh Carver. And the man who's still going to leave here with the point standings, even after a second place finish, but it's got to be a little bittersweet. James, I believe you've got Brandon Wilson with you now.
Well, that's up to him. We got you, Brandon?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, well, coming up 17 spots, you're definitely there. I know you thought you were facing the checkered flag and Barry 1 minute, and then the next you were looking at your fellas in the pits. Tell us about that ending.
Yeah, I kind of looked at that replay. I just got flat out dumped. So yeah, I don't know. I would have had it, yeah, until that happened. But I hate to see that happen. It's just, I guess, how people race sometimes. But yeah, it was a pretty eventful night. Anyways, we went, a lot of green flag laps, which is great. So that was good to see. A lot of good green flag pit stops. I like doing those. But all in all, it was pretty good up until the end.
Definitely. Well, second place finish. Can't be too mad about that. But I heard similar sentiments from Bubba Wallace last week, so it stings. I definitely get that. What was it like though to be in that position? What did it take with the pit strategy and everything else to get there? What was working for you?
Just hitting the marks, pit entry and pit exit, and staying up with the guys when you're coming out of the pit road. I think I was actually on the same right tire that I started on the race with. I just changed lefts about the second pit stop or so. So it was getting kind of squirrely, amongst the draft and stuff. But yeah, It's we did good with our pitch strategy. I really liked it, and kind of worked out the best for us there up until I think Jason might have got into something and kind of knocked him out of that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on back there, but man, we appreciate you coming in. Who you want to shout out? Who you got on the car today?
Want to shout out to Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing, iFlag, Buttkicker, and Midwest Motor Customs, and Exalta, because obviously it's good luck for me. I've been running that same scheme for a little while, but definitely would thank Jason and the rest of the folks for the league they put on, and you guys also for the broadcast.
All right, brother. Well, again, man, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
So that was our second place finisher, Brandon Wilson. And joining us now is the highest finishing Balls Garana car tonight, the 99 of James Lowe. James, all things considered, can't be too disappointed with a podium finish at Daytona.
Yeah, it just kind of all worked out for us there at the end. I just stayed on Joshua, and the seas just kind of parted for us in the right spot. So we kind of got lucky there, but we'll take it.
Yeah, very much so. As all hell was breaking loose around you guys coming to the checkers. James, this is indicative of what we see week in and week out with the iRacing East Circle B Diecast Superspeedway series. With a lot of green flag pit stops happening, and then a couple of cautions towards the end to kind of bunch things back up. How do you keep your wits about you when that happens?
Well, I mean, you come in with a game plan and you try to stick to it the best you can, and we were running a perfect game plan. I think we were pretty good to go there, but there's always going to be the caution at the end. At least it seems for Friday nights anyway. So you just kind of gotta gather back up and get the troops in line and try to go after it again. But unfortunately, that didn't work out for a lot of them tonight with all the shenanigans that went on there at the end. But all in all, I mean, we all ran together really good, and we got some new folks that are running with us this year. So, all in all, it wasn't too bad until the end. And at that point, it's just kind of whoever's got the best luck, I guess.
Well, James, one of the tracks you've had luck at in the past is coming up next week as we go to Talladega. Your thoughts going into the 2.6 there?
Well, I'm just hoping that we can actually form a third line without getting wrecked. We've tried it twice and got wrecked both times, so I'm not sure why guys can't feel comfortable with 3 wide. It's more than wide enough even at Daytona. So I don't know why they can't do it, but they can't. So we'll have to try to figure out some kind of strategy and prepare for the caution at the end because we know it's coming.
All right, James, before we let you go, who do you need to thank for tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing Flag, Buttkicker, and Midwest Motor Customs. And I also want to give a shout out to Brian Tarnowski. I know he's going through some stuff right now. So keep your head up, buddy. We're all out there praying for you. And also pray for the people in Ukraine because that's kind of tough what they're going through. But other than that, just like thank all the guys we were running with tonight, Justin and Brandon, Scotty, Marcus. And, I know I'm forgetting somebody, but Chris and everybody else that's involved with this. I think we had a good game plan. It just didn't quite work out.
All right, James Lowe, best of luck to you next week at Talladega.
Appreciate it, buddy.
So, James, we got another one in the books, James Lowe brought up a good point there. We do need to think about what's going on overseas right now, especially with yourself and John being members of the military. Thoughts and prayers going out, as I've already heard quite a few people have already been called to active duty with that situation that's going on in the Ukraine. But again, we got to thank the men and women of our armed forces who they're the reason why we're able to have the freedom to do what we do. And I cannot thank you as a military personnel, John, everybody that's ever touched my life as a military personnel. I cannot thank you enough for allowing us to have this freedom. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll see what it's worth once I re-enlist, and yeah, it's heavy stuff. Not really willing to talk about it right now, but well, we'll see. It'll be a good time. As we get over here, I think Greg McConey is waiting on us. Hey, let's go into their channel. Whatever. Hey guys, we're gonna be doing something crazy. We have no idea what these guys are gonna say, so bear with us. Watch your ears. We can't screen it as we're gonna head into general. Let's go into the fire. Hey, the broadcasters are here. Nobody cuss. Final warning.
Did we just wander into?
All right, you guys ready?
No, but that's never stopped you before.
All right, here we go.
Folks, what they're doing right now, they're going to be drawing to see who wins some extra bonus money.
Joe Gautier.
Joe Gautier.
Yes. Okay.
Is he here? He's not even in here.
Oh,
Did he leave?
Yeah.
After the night he's had, I don't blame him.
I don't
for
know where he
leaving
went.
early.
Yeah,
Nope,
he
roll
gone.
it again. He loses, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna roll again.
Hey, next, if it's 69, it's me.
Uh,
22.
Edwin DeBoer.
Ed DeBoer.
Yes, sir.
And he's here.
Let's go,
All
baby!
There we go. Ed
You
DeBoer
won.
winning. There you go. Ed, what do you want to tell your fans out there, and where are you going to spend the money?
Invest it back into iRacing practice with Rev E Motorsports teammates.
Don't spend it
Thank
all
you,
in one
guys.
place, Ed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you for everything you do.
All right, later, folks.
Awesome.
All right, there you go. Ed DeBoer going home, $10 richer just for participating. We love to see that. As Tony, go ahead and send it off.
Well, we got another one in the books for the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series. Round number 4 is done and dusted. Congratulations to Ed DeBoer for winning the $10 in the random drawing. Josh Carver, congratulations on getting your first win in the iRacing East Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series. We again need to thank our friends over at Circle B Diecast, Midwest Motor Customs, iRacing, iFlags, Rowdy Energy, and our very good friends over at Buttkicker for allowing us to bring the action to you folks. For Mr. James Riles joining me in the commentary booth tonight, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.